Welcome to Harambe. This is our third annual Harambe, and this year we'll be gathering around the table together to celebrate the growing community that is Wesley College and the growing community that's supporting Wesley College. Wesley College is a college that forms servant leaders for the church and community through providing accessible, practical, and entrepreneurial education. With over 220 students studying theology, community development, and business, we are excited to be a growing and growingly impactful part of Mwanza and the lake zone around Lake Victoria in Tanzania. Today, we're going to gather around the table. You may want to grab a few snacks, or maybe you brought a few friends. Yesterday, I made chapati in honor of today to remind myself and my family of the meals we used to share with community in Tanzania. And we're going to learn today about why and how Wesley College is growing, why Wesley College is becoming a more impactful part of the community around Lake Victoria. And we're going to dig into some of the stories and things that students and graduates are doing at Wesley College, including hearing from Dixon, one of our graduates who has had an amazing journey in his life and the way in which he moved towards and then beyond Wesley College into the vision that he has for his call. But first and foremost, we're going to hear from Reverend Winyama about Harambe and what it means. You'll notice he's going to be joined by Achilles Mugisha, our new principal, and by Doto Peter, our student body president, who are also going to share their experiences about why Wesley College is doing such amazing work in Tanzania. Karibu.
The concept of Harambe originated from an Indian word, Harambe, which meant to give praise to their God for them to get power to perform their activities. The meaning was changed and used in East Africa and in particular Tanzania to mean pulling together, which defines coming together of our people towards a community cause. During Harambe, the community gathers together to pull resources together for a common cause. We are excited today to welcome you to join us at Wesley College and be part of our community as we together give youths in Tanzania a chance at education and move forward with their hopes and dreams.
Thank you, Boniface, for that introduction to Harambe. I've seen the ways in which Harambe has been used to bring people together in Tanzania before, and I'm excited that we're able to bring people together from so many different places today. Harambe is needed. All of us coming together. It is needed because Wesley College is committed to meeting the needs of a growing country where education is still not accessible to everybody. Mugisha and Boniface can tell us a little bit about Tanzania's current growth, but also the challenge that youth are currently having in accessing education after high school.
As you know, in Tanzania, now we have a population of 63.59 million people. Among this population, 50% of this population are under 18 years. And not only that, even the 70% of this population are under 30 years of age. 41 are adolescents. So this population, when we estimate it in 2030, we find that it will be 82.85 million people, while in 2050 it is estimated to be 135.24 people, whereby this population at this year of 2050, it is estimated that 50% of this population will be young youth. So it means as Wesley College, we have to meet this population.
As Mugisha has just pointed out, Tanzania, currently the 24th most populous country in the world, projected to be the 14th, 15th most populous country in the world by 2050, is not just experiencing large growth and an exploding youth population now and in the future. But there are other reasons that institutions like Wesley College are needed, and a community that includes many supporters. Youth in Tanzania have an uphill struggle to move past a basic high school education. And Wesley College is making specific efforts to address the challenges of accessibility, making sure that as many students as possible can access higher education. Boniface, maybe you can share a little bit more about that.
24.3 of Tanzanians live under $1 a day. One of the results has been that only 3.1% of high school students who have the qualification to join college actually do join college. Most of them cite poverty as the reason they are unable to pursue their education. Wesley College scholarships has allowed more students to join college, 364. Scholarships have been provided to students over the last 5 years, and almost 60% of the total student body has received a certain kind of financial aid. In addition, Wesley College has been able to increase the enrollment of female students much above the national average. Through recruitment programs like Daraja, which is a program that builds awareness for rural populations to benefit young female students. 51% of students at Wesley College currently are female students, which compares to the national average of 32%.
It is so important that Wesley College be a bridge, a daraja, to students in Tanzania, whether their challenges are due to poverty, gender discrimination, or other challenges that keep them from attending college and pursuing their calling. One person who has not had an easy time accessing and completing his education is Dixon Masood. Dixon has had an amazing journey moving from the streets to Wesley College and beyond. And I'm excited to be interviewing him today. We'll be breaking the interview into a few parts, but you'll get to hear his entire story about a challenging childhood, his dreams for the future, and his thoughts on the future of Tanzania. Dixon, welcome. And I just want to jump right in. Tell us some of where you grew up and what life was like for you as a child.
I can say I don't know where am I from, because when I was young, like 3 or 4, there are some people of Nyasubi Foundation in Kahama. They took me and they started raising me from that age. So I didn't know who is my parent, they gave me the name Dixon Masood Michael. So they sent me to school. Procedure: when a person reach in standard 7, they making a campaign. They call people. Any person can take one child who was a complete grade 7. So that to me was too hard. When I reached the standard 6, I said no, I should learn away from that. In order, I continue to school, because somebody can take you, then can do a lot of things with you, such as business, can make you a labor while you are a child. So fika Mwanza, I left the school. I started being now there. My life started in the street. I went to the street known as Mabatini. When I was there, Mabatini is the street which has crook boys, has people who are with bad behaviors, but those people at my age, I saw them like good peoples. So they started teaching me poor behaviors.
So how did you end up back in school after going to the streets?
2015, I said on my own, why can't I go to that school and talk well with that headmaster? Because he interviewed me and he told me this way: Form 1 students, they are in project of the government, but Form 2 students, themselves are in my project. So I can add you in from 2 students, but don't tell anyone if you have not studied grade 7 and so on. I agreed, and he told me, don't tell anyone, because this I'm doing with this, I'm helping you. That headmaster who went who shifted in the school gave me the key of library. So I was sleeping library. Morning, I wake up early in the morning. So that was, I think was an activity of me. Every day morning I'm wake up early, and then I'm closing that door. Then I'm not, he gave me the rule, don't tell anybody. When you tell anybody, you'll make me this.
Dixon, you skipped from 6th grade to your 2nd year of secondary school and studied while sleeping in the library. How did that work out for you? How were you able to make that possible?
Some effort I started, I worked hard, and I finished my Form 2. In the national examination, I was the first at my school at that time.
I know that wasn't your last time on the street, though. What happened after your Form 2 performance?
Wait, I turned back to lasters. I turned back to those lasters. Those lasters, they were raising me well, but they were motivating me to leave the school and work for them. So it was too hard for me to leave the school. So I was going to school, but in some days, not always, not frequently. Per week, I can go twice or once per week. My performance in class started dropping because I was not studying. I was working a lot. But that administrator told the people, go and find Dixon, you bring him here. And at that time, my head is school is not there. I mean, I'm thinking on working on money, and I started being famous in drawing once. But when they find me, I say who I am. The school has 1,500 students. Why me? And madam is calling me. When I went back to school, even those my friend, which they were in the street, some people were dying, were killed. So they think me, I'm snitching them to some people, some police. So they started finding me that I am making them in trouble. So at that time, it was too hard because even one day they come there to school, but the watchman, they helped me on that day. So I started thinking on myself, now which kind of this, like at that time when I hear the names of those people who are finding me, I know them, the way they always punishing people, they always beating people. So it was difficult to me. I tried to kill myself because, and that was a hard situation to first time. I drink some glycerin. I used it to polish his skin. So I drink with them to kill myself. But that day I drink with them morning, then I went to school. I was sitting, why am I not dying? Why am I not dying? So I seated there, I'm not dying. The first day passed. The second day, I tried to hang myself because life is hard. People are finding me in performance at school was dropping day to day. So it was too hard to me. I tried to hang myself. So they catch me, those watchmen, and they send me to madam. The following day, they sent me to madam.
I know that during this hard time, in the middle of all of that, you were still able to pass your final exam for high school. What happened though with those that were trying to threaten you and hurt you? How were you able to put all of that behind you and move forward?
I think they stopped me, but I lived them, and that was, I think God protected me to them, to that situation. If I would with them, the hard life which I passed after my Form 4, I could be a thief or I could be a good drinker. But God helped me, and that was a way of differentiating me with them.
I'm grateful, as I know that you are, for God's presence during that time. I'm also happy to know that your story doesn't end there. Not only did God protect you during that time, but you had more coming in your direction. Tell us how you found Wesley College and continued your education.
I passed one day to Wesley College. I said, but I can study. Then I always had community development. At that time, are people who work for the others. They always help others. So that way I was thinking, when you enter into college, after finishing college, you are starting helping others.
It is obvious in your story how you appreciate God's blessings, but also the help of several others along the way who helped make sure you finished secondary school, and now I'm hearing who helped make sure that you came to and were accepted into Wesley College, knowing that you wanted to help others and had a desire to give back to your community. You also became an entrepreneur. How did Wesley College help with your understanding of putting community development and entrepreneurship together? How did your education help you think about helping the community in the way that you have?
I learned there. Actually, I get some ideas. There is a statement in that entrepreneur saying this: if you want to make a good business, make sure that you solve the community problem. When you solve the community problem, people, they will find you because you have solved their problem. I continued my life, but one day I passed into the street. I saw some women are using some lamps to sell their potatoes, to sell their vegetables. I think, why if I give them bulbs, it will be a good business, because they are buying 200. Yeah, they are buying kerosene every day of 200. When I give them bulbs, then I tell them pay 100 every day. They will do.
So you were able to help them get away from using kerosene and towards using a more healthy source of power, solar power. As you found a cheaper, better alternative, how did your business grow?
I started keeping that money from that 5 lights. I reached until 7 streets and the 75 lights. That way went. I employed until 6 workers at that time. Without the entrepreneurship course which is provided to Wesley College, I couldn't able to perform my other activities because I was knowing nothing.
I'm excited to hear about Dixon putting his education to good use. As he talked about, this started even before he graduated from Wesley College and started on his bachelor's degree in community development. Dixon's story that we have heard today is full of God's providence, and not only is a testimony to what God is doing through him, but also at Wesley College. As we get ready to hear about other students who are making a difference in Tanzania, I wanted to first stop and offer our first chance this Harambe to make a difference in these students' lives. As Dixon has already mentioned, a scholarship is the only reason that he was able to study at Wesley College. And for Harambe this year, we have a unique opportunity of matching all donations up to $25,000. So far, we have received $13,000 towards our $25,000 match, meaning that we can still match up to $12,000 for Harambe. This is a great opportunity to gather around as part of the Wesley College community for our Harambe and make a difference in the lives of youth in Tanzania. There's donation information on the screen, which you can go to on your computer or your phone and make a donation today towards Harambe. As you are doing that, we will have information up later as well. I am excited to share a few more stories of how Wesley College students are impacting the communities around them in Tanzania.
We already have a great number of students who have completed here and are impacting the society. And as you know, the Reverend has been with these students. I think you can tell us about what they are doing and the impact that they are bringing to the society.
Thank you. Actually, we have a lot of success stories. Just to begin with, we have a student in the northern eastern of Tanzania, that is the Mara, Veronica Marwa. Veronica Marwa is working with the Wesley House, which is an intentional community, and she majorly focuses on gender-based violence. In her own story, she shares about having helped stop a father from sexually abusing his stepdaughter. We have stories of students like Fred Michael. Fred Michael works with Yatosha. Yatosha is a Swahili word that means enough. And Yatosha provides access to services to people with disability. And they majorly work with the deaf people, trying to ensure that they get skills that can enable them fit in the society and be able to sustain themselves. We have a story of a young person like Mwanzo, graduated in the Department of Theology 2 years ago. Currently, he's involved in church planting, and he has really assisted the church growth in his district in a place called Kigoma. We have a story of a young lady called Neema Munya. Neema Munya is currently continuing with his university education, but she is also working with Plan International in the area of gender, trying to create awareness in gender-based violence. And then we have a very exciting story that I always talk about, a young man that we share the same name, Boniface Butoy. And this one, growing up as a refugee, finding himself in the refugee camps, and finally coming to Wesley College, where he graduated in the Department of Theology. Currently, he is pursuing his graduate studies at African University in Zimbabwe. But before then, he worked with the community in the same refugee camp where he grew up, trying to train pastors, trying to advocate for peace, because I think for him, peace meant a lot. So we have so many success stories of our students who have really done very well in the community where they are serving.
As we've been hearing about all of these amazing students and stories, Toto, can you tell us about what your plans for the future are after you graduate and what you hope to be doing with your education?
And myself, I'm a student at Wesley College here. So I have a plan to establish an organization that help different people, poor people, especially, for instance, widow people, orphans, and street children, and other people. Yes.
Are you alone or you have another students you are cooperating with?
Okay, thank you very much. I have my friend known as Boniface Joel, is a student from the Department of Theology, since it is the second year. Yeah.
Theology?
Yeah, it is theology student.
Okay. Boniface, you can see that you are impacting the community from your department.
Wow.
So this is great, and you can see our college is impacting the society. And you can see that number of students, those who have graduated and these who are still studying but are impacting positively the community. This means that you can see our motto is education for building the community. We are doing the practical education so that we can build the community.
Toto, I want to thank you for your vision. And many thanks to Mugisha and our other staff in consistently carrying out this vision for education and helping youth in Tanzania find their callings. One of the values that has existed as part of Wesley College from the very beginning is that education should be something that can be used as soon as graduates finish at Wesley College. They should be able to immediately put their education to use in fulfilling their vision for a better Tanzania. Our students have learned how to dream big, but also how to turn those dreams into a reality. Not only has Dixon had an eye-opening journey, but he has also truly understood the vision and value of Wesley College and its education. So Dixon, as we're finishing up today with your interview, what is your vision for the future of Tanzania? And what role do you see yourself playing?
I have started my organization. This organization is known as Ubora School of Thoughts. This Ubora basically will motivate youth to use their talent in the traditional games. So traditional games or their talents can be, is not only passing, it's the thing which remain after you finish the school. That which it has remained, that is education. But we Tanzania, we think that education is passing. So first we change our education system in Tanzania, especially for university. University students are studying only passing. But if we could study, working on those things which we are studying, now we could have a lot of dictionaries. Many of them are practicing. But also, Tanzania, we should educate youth, especially youth, because youth are people, are elders of tomorrow. So we should educate youth that I've forgotten, but we should educate youth to stand on themselves. In Tanzania, there are a lot of children. Even they are 30 years old, they are still living at home, depending on father and not working. In the school, he has passed and doesn't know what to do because the education which he got didn't help him. It has not helped him to do anything. Thought. This Ebola School of Thought will help youth of Tanzania first to know that their talent, they can help them, not depending on employment. And we should, I will make sure that I educate more youth in Tanzania that depending on being employed is too bad.
That's amazing to hear from you. So what makes Wesley College different from some of the other colleges, from your college experience now at the university you're going to?
Wesley College is helping a lot of people here. Will play a very big part in Tanzania because the education which is generated or is from Wesley College is different from other college. Wesley College lectures are not harsh that a student can't even follow a lecture to ask him this. But there are some, for instance, the university which I'm studying, to see even the lecture, the problem. Just to see him, you can see him in class. After there, no. But in Wesley, lectures are interacting. So students, they can get more ideas, a lot of things because lecture are interactive.
I'm really grateful that Dixon was able to join with us today. I hope that you have been as inspired by his story as I have. To see somebody overcoming these challenges and the instability of living on the streets or sleeping in the school library, having to move school and skip grades, and yet always coming back to the importance of education in his life and his faith that sustained him and kept him going. He's now been able to use that education to start a business and encourage others to do the same. So as we wrap up our Harambe of 2023, I want to offer a chance to Wesley College staff and students to have the last word. But as they offer their thanks, there will be information on the screen for those wishing to donate and support more students like Dixon and Doto and Veronica and Boniface, and others who are making a difference in the lives in Tanzania. As has been mentioned before, Wesley College is one of the few places offering scholarships and this bridging education that takes students from where they are when they finish high school into their futures. And I want to invite you today to help us make this college education more available, more accessible, so that we can impact more youth and that ripple effect can be felt all over the country in Tanzania. So enjoy these last few words from our staff, as well as a song of thanks from the Wesley College Choir. Thank you for participating today, and thank you for being part of the Wesley College community.
All this work that is happening at Wesley College would not have been possible without the support of so many people. I want to singly mention the donors that have really supported the work at Wesley College. We are so grateful for what you have done.
Oh, we thank staff because it is the journey that has been going on because of support from staff and all the donors that have been supporting Wesley College until this time.
Okay, and myself as the president of Wesley College student, I would like to thank you all students here at Wesley College because the crucial moment is that I'm doing here at Wesley College.
So thank you. I appreciate you being with you here at this table. Thank you, and we thank you all. May God bless you. Thank you.
Amen.
Thank you.